Hi everyone and welcome to Back in Time Fiction, my small channel dedicated to historical fiction, the best genre of literature and everything related to it from writers to TV shows and an occasional stop by famous historical figures. So if those topics interest you, feel free to subscribe and don't forget to leave a like or a comment please. Today I wanted to talk to you about what is to me the greatest book or books of the genre, the Warlord Chronicles by Cornwell. And I will share something I only recently learned about it, so stay until the end, it might interest you. If you've checked some of my previous videos, you know I love Cornwell's work. There is nothing surprising here. He is one of the true masters of the genre. Cornwell is mostly famous for two stories which have successfully been adapted to television, Sharp and the Saxon stories, more commonly known as The Last Kingdom. And just like the series, the books are amazing, but even them, they pale in comparison to the Warlord Chronicles, at least in my opinion. This trilogy is actually the reason why I am so picky when reading books, especially in historical fictions. It was one of the first I've read in the genre, and for a while I thought it represented a kind of benchmark. Well, actually it sits at the top. So what is this trilogy about? Who is it for? And why do I consider it to be the greatest piece of historical fiction ever written? Those are the questions I will answer today in this video. So first, what is it about? Simply put, the Warlord Chronicle is an Arthurian tale in 3 books: The Winter King, Enemy of God, and Excalibur. And if you're like, great, another one of those, hold on a second, it's much more than just that. For starter, the main character isn't one of those famous guys like Arthur, Lancelot or Merlin, but Derval Cardan, based upon the legendary character of Bedwyr. And if you've never heard of him, don't worry, neither had I. Derval here is a Saxon-born boy taken as an orphan baby by Merlin to his own village and raised as a warrior. By the way, this is 300-400 years before the Last Kingdoms. The Saxons here are the invaders. The land actually belonged to the Britons, who struggled with those men from the other side of the sea after the Romans have abandoned them. Anyway, those invaders are not the only threat to this land, because there is another conflict between the rising Christianity and the old gods of the Druids. Bringing back the power to the old gods is actually what Merlin and his apprentice Nimue are working on in this book, while Derval is actually more interested in becoming Arthur's greatest warrior. Now Arthur on his side is just trying to keep everything together while the heir to the throne, Mordred, grows up, and of course you have a lot of love stories and amazing characters that you are already familiar with, such as Lancelot, who is an absolute bastard in this book, Sagramore, Guinevere, and this guy whose name I have no idea how to pronounce. Alright, so who are those novels for? Everyone! Seriously, everyone! But more specifically, anyone interested in the Dark Ages, anyone who likes big battles, big epic battles, and of course people who just enjoy a good Arthurian legend. Specifically if, like me, you don't really care so much about dragons and wizards. So basically, if you like The Last Kingdom or Vikings, if for you the first season of Game of Thrones was the best, if to you Aragorn is the greatest characters of the Fellowship, and if great epic battles get your blood pumping, this trilogy is for you. However, if you want magic powers, pure love and flawless characters, I'm afraid this is not the right novel for you. Which brings me to the last point. Why do I love this trilogy so much? First, as you probably have guessed, I'm not the biggest fan of magic inside my historical fiction novels, which can be tricky when it comes to the story of Arthur and more specifically with characters like Merlin. But the way Cornwell brought up magic into this novel is absolutely fantastic. Well, actually, no, it's not, but that's the point here. It's pretty cool. Not once until the end you know if magic is real or if it's simply a trick born from the mind of the old lecherous Merlin. But at the same time, you can't say for sure that it doesn't exist, which puts the reader in some kind of a Schrödinger state on the topic. I loved it. Second, it's Cornwell, so the writing is superb, immersive, in perfect balance between too much and too little historical details. It's well researched, takes you away from the cliches, while at the same time feeding you all the good bits of the original tales. You get, for example, a great presence of the Mithraïc religion, something we too rarely see in novels of that period. It's just a detail, but I found that it gave all the more depth to the story. And as usual with Cornwell, especially when given the free rein of a historical period we don't know much about, he just manages to make everything completely believable. And I must say, some of the greatest battle scenes I have ever read are in those books. And 3, the characters. If you think Uhtred from The Last Kingdom is the man, check Davol. Not only those two would get along very well, Uhtred might actually learn a thing or two. Davol is just super engaging and he's far from being the only one. I have never hated a character as much as Lancelot, or felt as sorry as I did for Arthur. But even the ones we see less, like Sagramore, Gawain or that guy, feel like friends by the end of the trilogy. And I don't want to spoil anything, but the greatest foes of those characters are both chilling and credible. There you go, those are my thoughts on the Warlord Chronicles by Bernard Cornwell. I think I managed to stay quite neutral this time, no? If you've read it, or once you've read it, please leave a comment under this video to let me know what you thought. Do you agree with my review or just not at all? As for the news I mentioned earlier, it seems that the Warlord Chronicles, under the name of the first volume, The Winter King, is gonna be adapted on TV. Yay! Not so much information for now, but it will be developed by Bad Wolf and will start shooting by the end of this year. In any case, I'm a little bit excited. Thanks for watching everyone, don't forget to subscribe and go get those books if you haven't read them. Or get back to them if you have read them already. On my side, it's been like a year and a half since the last time I read the Warlord Chronicles, so you know, it's about time. I will see you very soon for more content on the very best genre of literature. Until then, grab a book and enjoy. See ya!